TIMA doctors provide free eye surgeries in the Philippines to help patients regain their vision. Dalin Tzu Chi Hospital doctors host liver disease clinic in remote areas to safeguard locals' health. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Maggie Tsai. Thank you for joining us. In the Philippines, the cost for cataract surgery is not affordable for most of the impoverished people. TIMA doctors in the Philippines go to Ormoc City regularly to host free eye clinic and provide free cataract surgeries to the needy so they can restore their vision.
Walking with a stick, Pelagio doesn't have problems in his legs but in his eyes.
I always walk with a stick because I can't see.
The old farmer Joes also found his blood with his vision. Although the word card is placed in front of him, he still can't see it. Gigi's free eye clinic provides them with free cataract surgeries. After wearing protective goggles, they become happy again.
Because of Tzu Chi's help, my father and uncle have already restored their visions. If it were not for the medical professionalism of the doctors, they might never see again.
After the surgery, I can eventually put aside my walking stick. I can see clearly when I walk.
Restoring his vision in the last free eye clinic, Justino specially brings the fruits harvest of his backyard to give it to volunteers.
It is my way of expressing my gratitude with these papayas. Thank you for all the kind people who have taken care of me, especially for doctors with excellent medical skills.
TIMA daughter Antonio Say is the role model of the free clinic in the Philippines. He has treated various patients with vision problems in the past 21 years. He hosts a fundraising box and boasts to seek donation for the strong earthquake in southern Philippines.
Thank you.
The sunshine does not only reflect everyone's love to the needy, but also the kindness of the TIMA doctors from all generations.
In 2016, Sharon Fraser from Sydney, Australia was diagnosed with leukemia just right as she was joining the Tzu Chi volunteer training. Thankfully, she was able to recover with a marrow transplant, and this year both husband and wife returned to Taiwan to receive their certification in Hualien.
2年前我患了急性血癌病，所以回台受证对我来说是个命，因为我不知道明天先到，或是无常先到。
Sharon Fraser had just made a pact with her husband to walk the Tzu Chi path together when she found out she had leukemia. However, she didn't want her husband to stop walking the path in her sickness.
Time has become even more precious these last few months because Sharon has been sick. But it's actually Sharon who has told us, our whole family, told us and given our family permission to keep going out and doing these activities and not just spending all of the time with her sitting in the hospital room.
Thankfully, Sharon's brother was a match for a marrow transplant for her. After recovery, Sharon quickened her step to catch up with her husband and was also a volunteer at the hospital. This year, she shared her philosophy on volunteering at the hospital for Volunteer Appreciation Day.
I believe in helping others, we are actually helping ourselves. Happiness is infectious, and it's probably the only infection anyone ever won in the hospital.
Sharon's husband continues to cultivate his wisdom by his participation in Tzu Chi activities in Africa, where he does business in.
I am Australian, but I do a lot of Tzu Chi activities in Africa, so it was especially touching for me to be able to share this very special event with both my Australian and African Tzu Chi family.
The volunteer training took the couple 3 years, and this year the two returned to Taiwan to receive their certification together.
In the future, I want to dedicate myself to encourage more people to register and donate their stem cells to help the sick.
Shangren asked me to do more for Africa and more for English speakers, which I will. Gangnam.
There are about 3 million diabetic patients in Malaysia, which ranks highest among Asian nations. The health ministry in Malaysia estimates the number will rise to over 7 million in 2025 if the situation is not controlled. Here are doctors' suggestions to ease the onset of diabetes. According to the International Diabetes Federation's report in 2017, there are 4.25 billion diabetes patients in the world. Malaysia was ranked 12th place, the highest among Asian countries. Of the 22.8 million Malaysians over 18 years old, there are about 3.6 million diabetics. In the past 15 years, diabetic patients over 18 years old in Malaysia has increased 300%.
马来西亚已经成为全亚洲人民最肥胖国家。
Malaysia has become the fattest country in Asia. We have 31% of population that can be categorized as overweight. The overweight rate will of course increase the number of diabetes patients.
Diabetes is a disorder caused by insufficient insulin. There are no obvious signs in the early stage, but long-term wise, it will cause heart disease, kidney failure, and lung infections.
当他们症状呈现的时候，
When their symptoms first appeared, they will often feel thirsty. Later on, there will be other symptoms and they may faint or drop weight.
Medications is not the only option to control blood sugar. In fact, if one can change their dietary habits, it can also help relieve diabetes.
所以通常对糖尿病的患者来说，
Normally, we will suggest diabetes patients to eat protein first because it can make you feel easier and the blood sugar won't be unstable.
At first, when her blood pressure was high, I made fruit and vegetable juice for her every day. She drank it for about 10 days.
Chen Ka-hong's wife was also found having high blood sugar during a health check in 2013.
没有控制饮食哦。现在我的师姐。
She didn't control her diet. Now she is sick, and they found that her blood sugar, blood pressure, and cholesterol are all too high. Suddenly, she has lost her vision. Therefore, we started to control our diet, and she started to exercise for at least half an hour a day to sweat.
His care has helped stabilize his wife's blood sugar rate. Now she is aware of her daily diet and her body. It's a long battle to treat diabetes, but the encouragement and care from family members are the patient's strongest support. According to statistics, there are about 26.9% chances for diabetic patients to have kidney disease. The Tzu Chi Dialysis Center in Penang hosted a weekly food caring campaign for the patients to check on each other's feet so they can lower the risk of infection. Amputation is always one of the concerns for diabetic patients. Excessive blood sugar can cause nerve mutations and the patients may lack the feeling. Therefore, they may not notice when their feet hurt.
Sometimes they start bleeding when they kick their feet accidentally. Another reason is that their skin is often dry, so they like to stretch and it often injures their feet.
In the Tzu Chi Dialysis Center in Penang, about 58% of the dialysis patients have diabetes. To prevent amputations, the center launched the feet caring campaign since 2017 in order to raise their awareness to take better care of their feet. The weekly food caring event is held before they undergo dialysis treatment. It has not only safeguarded their health, but has also improved their friendships.
有些开始的时候是拒绝的，因为他就讲说，我又没有糖尿病，做梦要检查，我都没有什么问题呀。但是他看到说，其实我们也是为了他好啊，所以他们现在自然的也是脱好他们的袜子，然后等我们来做一个这样的一个检查。
sini satu.
A dialysis patient, Jasengar, found a wound at his feet during the check-in and received timely treatment. Afterward, he has put extra care on his feet.
When the volunteers checked my feet, there's already a wound and it had pus coming out. So they informed the nurse and doctors and it recovered after the doctor cleaned my wound for 2 or 3 weeks ago. Now I check on my foot every day after I shower and put on lotion. We all follow the medical staff's instructions in order to keep up our health.
Taruh lotion, sekarang ikut macam nurse, doktor cakap apa kita ikut, sekarang kita sehat lah.
Dalin Tzu Chi Hospital doctors learned that hepatitis C patients in remote areas have fewer chances to receive treatment, so they brought medical equipment to the village health department to provide treatment for locals. In the early years, there are many hepatitis C patients in remote villages in central and southern Taiwan. 78-year-old Grandpa Aju was diagnosed with hepatitis C 3 years ago, but he has been ignoring it since there were no symptoms. It was not until recently at the free hepatitis C clinic that he discovered he already has liver cancer.
I feel sleepier. I know my liver has problems, but nothing else was wrong, and I do my job regularly. In remote areas, we get by if we don't feel uncomfortable.
来医院治疗的族群跟在乡下地方的这些族群是不一样，所以
The group that comes to the hospital is different from people in remote areas. Therefore, we thought that we should extend our clinic to remote villages so we can provide treatment to these patients. I believe it's a good thing for local patients.
出来治疗的话，实际上相对来讲，我想是对当地的病人来讲是一件好事。
Through a series of examinations, Grandpa Aju found a 1.5-centimeter tumor in the right side of his liver, and a blood test showed that the hepatitis C virus number has reached 29,700. His liver function index was 121, which was 3 times higher than the normal number. Dr. Zhen immediately arranged liver cancer surgery for him and gave him new oral medication for hepatitis C.
After starting your medication, I've checked for the virus and it has disappeared. I said you can get a graduation certificate after 3 months treatment, because if we can't find any virus, that means your hepatitis C is completely gone. Your liver cancer is also gone. However, because of your illnesses, you must come back every 3 months to do a blood test and CT scan to prevent them from happening again.
With the help of the free hepatitis C clinic, Grandpa Aju's life has been saved.
The Chiayi County Department of Health has some health examinations that can test for hepatitis B and C. If they find some patients, we will try our best to treat them. So far, the success rate is 100%.
With advancement of medicine, it's now an easy task to eliminate hepatitis C. Remember to get an examination regularly and treat the illness early so you can protect your liver from disease. There are about 400,000 people who have hepatitis C in Taiwan. Without proper treatment, more than 80% will turn into chronic hepatitis and eventually cause liver cirrhosis or even liver cancer. Fortunately, starting this year, health insurance has covered a new medication which is much more effective treatment of the disease. In Taiwan, hepatitis is considered a national illness. Every year, there are about 13,000 people dead because of chronic hepatitis, liver cirrhosis, and liver cancer.
I didn't feel anything, no uncomfortable feelings or nervousness. I didn't know if my liver was good or bad.
The liver is one of the largest organs in human body and is located on the upper right side of the abdomen. Though it's very durable and has great regenerate ability, if it is infected with hepatitis C with no proper treatment, there is an 80% chance it will become chronic hepatitis. If the liver is repeatedly inflamed due to viral infections, it will very likely to cause liver cirrhosis. Furthermore, liver cells may mutate and cause liver cancer.
We all know that the trilogy of liver illness is chronic hepatitis, liver cirrhosis, and liver cancer. When the patient has hepatitis C, there won't be any symptoms.
According to Health Promotion Administration statistics, there are about 400,000 hepatitis C patients in Taiwan, which is the second most deadly liver illness. It transmits mainly through blood or body fluid when sharing needles or having sexual intercourse. Sometimes body or eyebrow tattoos, ear piercings, or sharing shaving kits or toothbrush can also cause hepatitis C.
I was very worried and afraid to receive treatments. I felt more tired, but I can still do my job.
Hepatitis C patients normally don't have obvious symptoms, which can make the patients lack awareness of the illness. There are about 2/3 of the patients who were diagnosed of the disease but were scared or refused treatment.
If
we can find the fibrosis in advance in an early stage, then we can give them treatments for hepatitis C and prevent it from turning into liver cirrhosis and liver cancer.
Lately, the new oral medication of hepatitis C is available and it has less side effects and shorter treatment periods. The 3-month treatments have a healing rate of over 98%. However, the price was high, so many people can't afford it. Fortunately, the government has listed under the health insurance since 2019, and now it's affordable to everyone. Taiwan is hoping to reach the standard of World Health Organization to diminish hepatitis C in 2025. The freshman from Tzu Chi University of Science and Technology went to a recycling station in Hualien to learn about sorting of recyclables, hoping to start protecting the environment as early as possible.
Facing piles of recyclables, the students' first impression is usually, people throw away things without second thoughts. But when it comes to treating the items at the recyclable site, it is found that so much has been accumulated.
I think that only by each of us doing it can really be effective in protecting our earth, instead of just shouting slogans or having someone else do the task. The work of environmental protection is never finished.
The first-year students from the Nursing Department and Technology Management Department of TCUST understand the importance of recycling, cleaning, sorting, and even reducing waste in daily actions.
I prepare my own plastic bags and tableware. I try to use those disposable plastic bags and chopsticks as little as possible.
The relationship between people and the environment is not in making endless demands of Earth's resources, but to protect the Earth through practical actions.
There are 38,000 illegal farmland factories in Taiwan, many of which are medium and high-polluting industries. Changhua has many electroplating companies which illegally discharge into the sewage system through hidden pipes, as the scope of heavy metal pollution can spread to hundreds of acres of farmland.
The pipe is broken and light blue cyanide wastewater is continuously flowing out. This is followed by the yellow chromium wastewater. These are two kinds of high-concentration electroplating waste, potentially fatal to animals and plants.
The waterways is actually completely dead because of the electroplating industry. Almost all of it is unprocessed wastewater, with the most toxic being wastewater from electroplating.
Electroplating wastewater goes from the sewer pipe into the irrigation channel of northern Changhua's irrigation channel, affecting more than 40 hectares of agricultural land downstream. Looking for the source of the pollution has been traced back to this illegal electroplating factory. Police, EPA, and inspectors have found the factory has secretly installed illegal discharge pipes, showing the company is engaging in a premeditated crime. 5 electroplating factories in the upper reaches of the Yangtze Chu River also have a number of hidden pipes hidden in the same way to dump high-concentration electroplating wastewater directly into the river.
This place is where a lot of plumbing hardware is produced in Fengbo. Electroplating wastewater is affected by the rising tide, as it will be pushed up to a level of this irrigation ditch water intake on our upstream side. After it enters, the water will get to irrigation farmland, and it will cause downstream agricultural pollution.
5 illegal factories were fined, and one owner of an electroplating factory had all of his hidden pipes removed.
The previous illegal pipes were here in this corner. It was just here, and we did improvements to change the situation. I paid $120,000 for remediation, and our company is being monitored.
对，就光整治这块土地，目前我们公司已经撤销列管了。
The electroplating factory has been updated, though it is still a small factory. The boss, Mr. Ye, still has more than 10 employees and works hard, but customer orders are getting fewer and fewer.
The overall economic environment is really bad. It is not like it used to be.
这样一包应该800-900公斤，差不多算2万。
As profits are reduced, processing costs of electroplating sludge has increased significantly.
Electroplating sludge processing costs are very expensive. One-time processing fee is about $750. So after treating electroplating wastewater, the processing fee for the sludge producers is the highest cost for the industry.
From agricultural land to D-type construction land, Mr. Ye, owner of this licensed factory, has installed pollution prevention equipment. Has increased his production costs, but now he is not afraid of encountering EPA staff. Both sides of the Yangtze Chu River have factories on farmland, which has caused the river basin to become a highly polluted area.
铜值大概在450左右，超标管制大概2倍多了。
We use a mixture of soil to dilute heavy metals. We mix it with soil with lower concentration levels to bring it below the regulated standard value.
Industrial wastewater discharge from factories on farmland can go through this irrigation ditch and pollute this vast farmland behind me. It's now going fallow and undertaking remediation. However, the farmland next to me doesn't have heavy metals exceeding standards, so it can continue to be planted. But do people dare to eat this rice?
The water inlet on paddy fields is typically where the pollution is the worst. The permits allowing farm factories to discharge to irrigation channels managed by the COA will be totally recalled by government in 2021.
The government's policy of irrigation water and wastewater has yet to be fully implemented. For farmland factories like those in Zhanghua, discharged industrial wastewater is concentrated here in this ditch, while farmers use the water here to irrigate farmland, potentially causing pollution. In fact, pollution caused by farm factories may extend over a dozen kilometers. Here is the estuary of the Yangtze River and the intertidal zone of Zhanghua's Lunwei Bay. There are thousands of farm factories upstream, including industrial wastewater from electroplating and the hardware industry, as a result discharged into this estuary.
This shell is very fragile and inside it looks very green. This indicates that the copper content will be a little higher. It may also have a little fluorescent yellow color, which may be from chromium pollution. Wherever the wastewater goes, there will be pollution. Some people are still harvesting shellfish, so we are very worried about this food safety problem.
More than 21,000 hectares of farmland in Taiwan were suspected to be polluted by factories. After testing by the EPA, 1,177 hectares of farmland were identified as contaminated, with soil remediation taking place. Another 345 hectares of farmland still being monitored. At the moment, 96% of polluted farmland is in Zhanghua and Taoyuan, with each county having 200 hectares and 133 hectares respectively. Here is a tributary of Dahan River in Taoyuan. Through our lens, you can see polluted water which stinks discharged from the source as it will travel 2 or 3 kilometers downstream to the Zhongzhuang catchment pool. This will supply residents of northern Taoyuan and New Taipei City, or about 2 to 3 million people, with water for daily use. Dashi dried bean curd is well known, and water pollution caused by this farmland factory has been a long-term nightmare for residents.
These are illegal factories, and those that are small don't have any wastewater treatment equipment. This may be the cause of these toxic algae, causing it to reproduce excessively, and even there's no way for the tilapia fish to survive.
Soil and water are the lifeblood of agricultural crops and the foundation of human survival. When the last pure land disappears, the losers will not only be the children and grandchildren of these factories, but everyone else living on this land.
此时show Baru branch hosted a 2-day TIMA forum and also promoted vegetarian diets on the venue. Take a look and see you next time.